Welcome to Suburban Warrior, the podcast that will impact, inspire, and empower you to transform your mindset and become the badass warrior that you are. I'm your host and fellow warrior, Chrissy Pfeiffer, former clinician and corporate marketing exec turned multi-passionate entrepreneur, performance and life coach, and mom to 4 not-so-little warriors. Each week, I will bring you honest conversations with inspiring guests to share their stories of resilience, optimism, success, and simple yet effective strategies so that you transform your thoughts and change your behavior to get the results you want in your life. You will be empowered to take action, warrior up, and believe in you. Let's do this. What's up, warriors? Welcome back to another episode of Suburban Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy Pfeiffer, and I am so thrilled to have you joining me again today for the 20th episode. I can't believe that it's already been 20 episodes. Thank you for all of those who continue to listen, stay connected with us, and hear all of these other warrior stories that can help us stay connected and really just feel the love at this time, now more than ever. I started this podcast back in January because of a need that I felt to stay connected with each other. I think as moms and as women, we tend to, just feel isolated and live in this world where we're on a hamster wheel and we're always on the go. And, real, authentic interactions are not happening all the time is the bottom line. And I know that each and every one of you out there have a story. I know that you're all going through something. And the bottom line is we all need each other to get through it. Now more than ever in this pandemic, do we all really need each other to get through it? And I want you to know that I'm here for you, that you have people in your life that are there for you, and you just need to ask sometimes, or you need to pick up the phone and say, I need to talk, because no one knows what you need unless you can ask for help. So that's first and foremost. And on today's episode, I have an extraordinary guest. She is not only an amazing entrepreneur and a mom to 3 awesome kids, but she's also a very dear friend of mine. And she has a heart of gold. I like to say her heart is bigger than her smile, which is hard to believe because she has a huge smile. For those of you listening, check out her picture on my Instagram at Suburban Warrior because she is a beauty, but inside and out. So today on the podcast, you are going to meet Ashley Meyers. She is the CEO and founder of Main Line Fashionista, which is an award-winning styling business here on the Main Line. Ashley is the host and producer of Main Line Fashionista Live, which is a streaming show bringing light to fashion influencers, boutiques, and local events. But just like many other people, Ashley has had to really pivot her business right now. So during the quarantine, Ashley has done almost 50 live Instagram live shows with local business owners to spread joy during these unprecedented times. And she began as a stylist, helping clients with personal shopping and closet edits in their home. And her real life fashion knowledge and ability to hunt for a good bargain was really just what the Main Line area was craving, and her business grew. Now Ashley trains local stylists. She has 2 on staff at Main Line Fashionista, and she consults on product lines with designers. You can also find Ashley on air as a QVC host and on local news channels, sharing fashionable tips and tricks. But in this episode, we're really going to talk about who Ashley is, how she has pivoted her business to help those locally in the community right now, helping small businesses, and really how pivoting her business has also really helped her just get through this time. Because as moms, as women, as human beings, we all need to find what works for us to get us through the day. Just focusing on one day at a time And what do we need to do for ourselves to get through today? And Ashley's going to tell us how she is doing the live interviews each and every day to support local businesses, but also because it gives her a reason to get up, get showered, and get dressed every day, which I think is phenomenal. So, what's your reason? What is it that you need to do in order to get through your day and stay in a mentally healthy state? And we also talk about how important it is to be honest with your feelings and really feel them and go through it. So I'm really excited for you to hear this conversation with Ashley. So without further ado, here she is. Hey, Ashley, thank you so much for joining me on the Suburban Warrior podcast today. I'm so excited to have you on.
Chrissy, I am honored to be here with you. This is so exciting.
It is so exciting, especially these days, because, normally you and I get to see each other much more often, in car line, at dance and all that kind of stuff. And now we don't have that anymore. Just like many, many other people, we are, self-quarantining, staying at home, and it's been rough. So it's lovely to see your face right now. And I'm so excited for all of my listeners to hear all about you, how fabulous you are, and all of the wonderful things you're doing. So,
oh, you're so sweet, Chrissy. It's so funny. Like, I am such an extrovert. I know that you are too. And I think this time is making me turn into an introvert. I'm like, please, dear God, let there be enough going on in my life that I don't turn into an introvert. I need this.
Yeah, totally. No, you do get kind of used to not going out, not getting dressed, not seeing people. And I hear you. It's a little scary because, like you, I'm very social. I love going out. I love seeing people and talking to people. And this has really altered a lot of that for everybody. Some people, it's easy. This is like, for introverts, I think they do enjoy this maybe a little bit more than we do, but it's still hard for everybody.
I totally agree. I think if you're not feeling this, you're in denial, which is an okay thing to be too, because then you can at least get through some days, but it does hit us all at some moment.
Exactly. And it's different for all of us, right? Different days, different moments. Absolutely. All right. So first, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And, you're the CEO of Main Line Fashionista. So I would love for you to tell us about yourself and also how Main Line Fashionista came to be.
Oh my gosh. It's such a funny story because I totally started this business as just a stylist. I had a different name. Like, it was crazy. And then all of a sudden I sort of just fell into it. Everyone kept calling me Main Line Fashionista. That was my nickname. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to run with this because it's got a cute little ring to it. And I am a mainline girl through and through. And I'm also a fashionista. But I did start the business about 5 years ago, just as a stylist, helping clients one-on-one, and it was amazing. I had a background in working vintage, being a stylist with Stitch Fix, and I really wanted to take that into people's homes and help them. And it was very successful. The world sort of accepted me for that, and it was a very cool moment. And then it kind of grew. There was not enough of me to go around. And that was also another really nice compliment that it was working. So I had to change with the times. And now I've brought on people that are taking over some of those services that we offer. I added on live videos with tips and tricks and networking with our community and allowing people to see that, the Main Line has a lot to offer, not just fashion, but very fashionable people. And also added on QVC, which was a really fun lifelong dream of mine to go on camera with them, representing such a cool brand as Fry. So it's been an amazing journey the last 5 years, from stay-at-home mom, truly stay-at-home mom of 3 children, to a very successful styling business and on-air personality.
Yes. And I have loved watching your journey over the last several years. And I know that you do closet edits as part of your business, and those are super successful. And I also, I've seen it sort of change and morph and seen you grow. And I know you also, run the Facebook group Main Line Fashion Tips and
advice and shopping tips, which is awesome. It's crazy organic how it grew. We're over 5,000 members that all chime in. And I really don't have to do too much because most people are sharing their questions and concerns, and they're having 40 some comments, of great suggestions. So I just kind of monitor at this point. But I love that group. It is so special to me.
Yeah, I think it is a great group. But what I love about it too is that you've created this space for people to go and ask questions and comment. And like you said, it's not, Ashley Meyers, it's not just Main Line Fashionista. It's just, a forum that you've created for people to go. And, while it's fashion based and right now people may not be all about fashion, people have questions. People need to know answers to these all important, like, is it okay to wear white jeans after Labor Day kind of thing?
Absolutely. Or like, what athleisure sneaker or what sneakers are you wearing with your athleisure wear? And, do you have a coupon code for the Rothy's that just came out? And I mean, you'd be shocked. I mean, really, truly, how many awesome questions there are that you're like, yes, I was just thinking that same thing. And then literally like 40 people are writing comments. It's so fun.
It's awesome. So you have grown your business significantly over the last several years. Is there one thing or something that you can look back on and say, that was a really difficult time, but I'm really glad I kept going through it, or something happened and it forced you to sort of, shift your business a different way?
There are so many things that kind of get in our way, especially being a mom, because anytime that you step away from your children to work, it has to be important enough, to be able to, be okay to be away from them. And so, when I started, it had to be fun. And then once I began, it needed to be successful. And then once it became successful, it needed to be monetarily smart. And then I was now feeding women that were working for me. Was it smart and good for them? And so there were a lot of things that I needed to worry about along the way. But a lot of times it just sort of answers itself, or I spend time thinking about it or going on long walks with my husband and like kind of throwing the ideas out there and, is this going to work? Is that going to work? I mean, there's been a lot of up and downs. Most people say like, it looks successful like overnight, but it takes like 10 years to get to that point.
Right.
I totally understand that feeling, because you look at what I've created and what I've done and it seems easy, but behind the scenes, there's like definitely a hamster in a wheel, like working her ass off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I can't answer it like specifically, but I do know that like, oh my God, Chrissy, like there were so many of those.
Yeah. And really the key is that you just kept going through it.
Totally. I never doubted that part, because I knew that this was me, and I needed to like keep laying the groundwork. And let me tell you, there are a couple times that I've laid some pavers down, had to pick them all back up and go in different directions. So I was like, damn it, I hit a root or a tree or whatever, or something else got in the way. But it's been a long, cool road to look back on. It really has. And I know there's so many more fun things, down the road for us.
Oh, absolutely. And so, with that being said, let's talk about this crazy time that we're in. And, you're obviously not going into people's houses and doing closet edits. And I know I'm
not going on QVC anymore. Right.
Yeah, no QVC. And you are always out and about all over the Main Line, hosting events and hosting fashion shows. That's not happening. So you being the Ashley Meyers that you are, and really your heart is bigger than your smile, which is almost hard to believe. Someone that knows Ashley, she's got this huge, big, beautiful smile. But in this time, you really sort of pivoted your business and what you can do and how you can impact people by going live basically every day and helping small businesses in our area. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing there.
Absolutely. The first 2 weeks were really hard, Chrissy. It was such a hard time for this whole entire world to kind of go through. Everything stopped. Everything was put on hold. No one had any answers. It was very confusing and scary. And I went into a hold, just like I'm sure everybody else did. after that second week, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I saw my mismatched socks, my flannel pajamas that I had not washed in 2 weeks, no bra, no makeup. And I was like, this has got to change. And I know that there are others out there just like me that are feeling that same way. So, what do I know? I know how to talk to people. I know how to go live. I know how to push people out of their comfort zone and also ask them questions and try and talk with them. And so that's what I did. I started an Instagram live every single day at noon. I just celebrated our 40th episode, which is insane to me.
That is
insane. I know that enough people that, it can be somebody different every single day. And my goal is to spread joy. That is the goal at the end of the day. Get you, whoever my guest is, up, dressed, showered to come talk with me. And even if it's just me and that other person, I know that I'm spreading joy. I know that I'm creating a place where you can come and talk about how you're feeling and your business. And it's been awesome. The feedback has been incredible. The amount of viewership is crazy live and then also afterwards. And it's a great place for businesses that are small or big to share their stories and their concerns or how they've re-strategized. They've had a chance to talk about their employees that they had a furlough, or they had to, pivot with them and they, don't see them anymore, but they share office space, every other day kind of thing. And there's so many stories out there. And I just wanted a place for people to have that platform because, we as small businesses don't have a big opportunity to go and be on the news or go somewhere, and I wanted to create that feeling right here from our own homes that, we all have a story to tell.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of, highlighting the small businesses and helping them through this time, because I think that, there's so many around us and so many different types of small businesses. And I think giving them a platform, not only to just highlight their small business, but to talk about what they're going through, the struggle, highlighting it for people is important because, I created this podcast because I felt like even before all this, we needed to feel more connected as human beings. I felt like, in this ever increasing isolating world that we live in behind technology, we need to feel connected through each other's stories. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to feel even more connected than ever. We're not even out and about running around seeing each other. We are literally in our homes and not aware of what's happening all around us or what may be going on in other people's homes and in other people's businesses. So I love that you created this outlet and this medium and this break. Like you said, it's an excuse to get up, get dressed, get showered, and be on Instagram Live.
It sounds so incredibly small, but let me tell you, it is an amazing thing. It's hard for me a lot of days to get up and get dressed every day. It really is. I dream of oh God, Sunday I take off. Oh, Sunday I don't have to get dressed or right. I don't have to talk to anyone. Because some days it's even hard for me. And, but pulling yourself up out of that situation and know that you're part of something and what you're doing is bigger than just who you are and how you're feeling. And everyone's story has amazed me. And, there are a lot of people that I've asked that turn me down because they're not in the right headspace. And that's even hard to hear, get those text messages back like, Ashley, I can't, I'm not ready. I don't know what I would talk about. I'm just not there. And now they're on my radar because I want to check in with them every week and make sure, be following them, make sure that they're okay. Because you just don't really know.
No, you don't. And I think that's, I always say a lot of times you don't really know if people are okay unless you ask. And it's hard, right? You don't know who to ask and how many texts can you send a day and how many phone calls can you make. But it is a shame and it's scary that, many people are experiencing anxieties and fears and depression and just worry about what's next. And, again, I think it's the work that you're doing. While, you may say it's small, it's something. It's doing something. It's taking that one little action each and every day because it's about action and it's about consistency. And that's what I think is really impressive about what you're doing too. And I think this is important for listeners too, because it's all about consistency, right? In everything that we do, whether it's working out, whether it's what we eat, what we drink, what we do for a living, whatever. And it's really easy to do something for a couple days and then be like, okay, I'm good. I'm not doing it again. Right? I mean, I know for myself, especially in these times now.
I am like the master of that.
Right.
I make my list. I've got it all planned out. Oh man, 3 days later, I'm like, oh God, that was.
You're like, maybe I'll move on to the next thing. I'm done with that. And I think that's totally normal human behavior because it takes sort of that extra mental strength, that extra commitment to be doing something consistently. And these lives are something that you have been doing consistently. Once you made the commitment, there you are, you're doing it. And there are some other people out there that I know through this quarantine that are doing the same thing. And I think it's important. I think it's important to stay consistent. And even if it's like 5 minutes a day, for you, it's an hour doing your show. If it's 5 minutes of exercising or 5 minutes to call a friend or meditate or go for a walk, whatever it may be that might get you in a better headspace. It's not just about doing it once, it's about consistency. And I think that's so important.
Yep. And I really think that everyone needs something. And it can be as simple as like, yes, a walk or that cup of coffee where you breathe, or my sister-in-law, she's painting now, and she creates like 1 or 2 a day. And now she's got a whole stockpile of artwork. And she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but this is now my thing. And I do it every day. And who would have ever thought, but what it's giving back to me is so much more than what I'm actually producing. And that's how I think of the Instagrams too, because like you look at the quality, the audio, the visual, it's, it is what it is. And you jump on and you do it. But I know when I walk away, what it's giving me is a sense of accomplishment. My children see that I'm committed to something. They see that me up dressed every day. My husband knows like, oh, you've got your live, who you're interviewing with today. It gives us a conversation point, and all those things are those check marks at the end when I go to get into bed. Yeah,
absolutely. And so also let's talk about, because you're, doing so much more good stuff. So let's talk about these very fashionable and cool hats and scarves that you've created for our new quarantine fashion.
Oh God, Chrissy, this is a hysterical story because as the fashionista, as your mainline fashionista, my promise to you is to keep you fashionable in all states of your life, whether you are going to the bus stop, you're running errands, or you're going to a big event. Okay, that really is at the end of the day. And I'll tell you why. Because
hold on. I do have to stop, because those who don't know Ashley, like she says this and she definitely lives what she says, because most of the time when you see Ashley, she's like rolling in, looking top notch all the time. And you're just like, okay, great. I'm in my sweatpants. And so I think it's awesome that that's what your goal is, but you also very much live that yourself.
I do. And I come by it honestly. This isn't a lot of work for me. This is just like in my blood. My dad literally like sleeps in like a 3-piece suit. And I don't know like what happened, but that is a gene that I got and it got passed out. So I'm trying to spread the love. So every night during quarantine, I get into bed, especially when the new mask, like when America was like, okay, we're going to be wearing masks.
Right.
And, the thought of covering your mouth, during a pandemic is important, but also like as a person who, smiles and understands that this is our connecting point, I realize that we're going to be missing something in our society. I'm scared. I'm nervous for that part. And it's not just fashion. It's a moment that we're, trying to connect, but we only see this little part of our eyes. And it's hard. So I get into bed every night and I lay there and I think, oh my God, I'm gonna have to wear like a surgical mask. Like this is really bad. This is like if someone told me I had to only wear sweatpants. Okay, I would die. How do I make actual just like, Kmart sweatpants cool? Like how do I do this?
Right.
So I would dream of all these different ideas and things and behind your ear and whatever wrapped up. And so I finally came up with it and I ordered all the things to make this. And so I've got this cool fedora, medium width band hat. with a little leather strap. And then I've taken this scarf. It can be cotton, it can be silk, polyester, whatever. And I've created this way to put it through the hat, twist it around. And so now all you actually have to do is just put the hat on, and the facial covering's already attached. You don't have to wrap it around your ears. You don't have to touch it. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is put this cute fedora on, and now you've covered yourself. And, nothing else would do, as I have to make sure that if I sell it, the proceeds are going to a charity, because that is what this is, where we are in our life. So 50% of the proceeds will go to Feeding America. And in 24 hours of me posting this hat, I fed 1,800 Americans.
Oh my God, that is absolutely insane.
Yep, and the money, it has already been processed. I already sent it to Feeding America. It went through within 24 hours. And it has been really cool to see. And so I offer colors like bright yellow, cobalt blue, red, and then of course the classics, black, brown, gray, like a tan color, and then all these fun choices of scarves. And Chrissy, who ordered one, was like, I don't know what scarf to pick. Ashley, you do it, and surprise me.
Yes, I need as many surprises as I can get right now. And plus, I know anything that you pick for me is probably going to look a hell of a lot better than what I pick for myself.
Right, because we're running these errands because we have to. We're going to the grocery store or CVS. We're going to a doctor's appointment. Maybe we have to go to the hospital. This is a moment in our life. It's scary. And how do I make it just a little bit less scary? How do I make you look a little bit less scary to someone else that you're going to bump into? And also create a look for yourself. So we all know each other by our faces, but a lot of times we know each other by our looks that we're wearing. So, we have girlfriends that love our athleisure wear. We have girls like me, you would see me in a skirt, and you wouldn't be surprised. And so I want to create a moment here with the hat and the face covering that's you, a way for you to, show your personality, let people know that this is you who's coming from afar, and feel friendly when you see that person.
Oh, I just love that. That is awesome. And you're so right. And especially because, I don't know, I have no idea how long this is going to last, right? None of us do. But eventually we're all going to be out and about, and we're going to have to protect ourselves. And the mask is tough, God bless these healthcare workers who are wearing it for 12-hour shifts, because any of us who have gone to the grocery store and have left it on, we know it's so hard to breathe. It's hard to talk. Your glasses are fogging up. I was an OR nurse. It was a long time ago in my early 20s. I was wearing goggles and obviously, medical masks. I don't know how I did it, but it feels so much worse right now. And so this is such a nice, unique, and different way. Number one, you're giving back because we're feeding families in America. And number two, it's something different. When you don't want to wear a mask or you want to be a little bit more fashionable, this is such a phenomenal idea. And kudos to you for creating it. It's awesome.
You. I really am. I'm so excited because it really is just an outlet for me to stay busy and, have some fun with this, but also just, at the end of the day, really give back to where I can. And, it was something that I dreamt of every night. It kept me up. And so now I sleep a little bit better.
I love it. I love it. Well, you're really making an impact and doing a lot of great stuff during this quarantine. So let me ask you this. If there was a piece of advice that you could give to, maybe it's other moms that are home with kids during this quarantine and, having maybe more bad days than good, which we all know we all have bad days. None of us are going through this without having bad days, right? We have a lot of bad days, but for those that are having more bad days than good and that are struggling, is there any advice you can give to them?
Oh, gosh, it just makes me tear up just to even just talk like this and think about myself or my friends or anyone that's, really, really struggling. Cause I know that this is not an easy time, but, don't be hard on yourself. Let yourself literally go there, because I really do believe that we have to break down and feel it and be low to be able to come back up. There's, living in denial is awesome and will get you through days and hours that you need to get through. But, it's okay to go there. Be that person, say that it's awful and you're struggling. And I really do believe that that's the only way we're going to be able to get back up out of this.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you kind of have to go through it, right? Like you can't just like skip over it. You have to go through it. You have to feel the emotions and be honest with yourself about the emotions, because I think trying to, push them down or bury it and act like everything's fine or that you're fine is not realistic. And I totally agree with everything that you said. And I think, reaching out for help is important, talking to people in your house if you can, but if not, reaching out to other people for help, because chances are whatever it is you're feeling, other people are feeling it too.
Absolutely.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I mean, at any moment and any given day, like someone who looks so strong and put together is not. And that was before quarantine. And so, now,
exactly.
now we have no reason to kind of fake it till you make it. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no person that we're going to bump into or see, so that we have to put the smile on our face and get through that moment. So I feel like those moments of being it and feeling it are there a lot and kind of can be very overwhelming. But that's part of this. Like it is overwhelming. It is scary. It is, and we don't know when it's going to end. It's endless.
Yeah.
And God,
and lots of time, like you said, lots of time to think. There's a lot of time to think, and that's hard too.
Exactly.
So
just when we think about ourselves and our family, and that'll bring you down to your knees if you're worried about any family member that has any kind of condition or elderly or lives in a home, nursing home. Like those are the people that I worry about on a daily basis. And then I worry about my friends and family who suffer from mental illness that are just, every day is a struggle, whether it's quarantine or not. And, just checking in with them and asking the right question. That's always my thing. Like my sister went through breast cancer and she was like, Ashley, don't ever ask anyone how they are. Don't ask that question. Ask, how are you today? How are you right now? Tell me something that's real. Instead of asking such a big question, make your question smaller and more answerable, because that's how you're going to get right to the real stuff. And I love that.
I love that too. I mean, really getting specific with your ask is such awesome advice and huge, because we all very generally just say, how are you? I mean, right pre-quarantine, hey, how you doing? You're just walking right by someone. How you doing? You're
it's so stupid if you think about it.
It's so silly. It's like an open-ended question and, oh, I'm good or whatever. And they just keep going. But right now is the time we need to ask and really be open to the answer and really want the answer. And I think that is such a great piece of advice. How are you today?
Yeah, because
how are you right now?
If you ask someone who's not doing well, who's going through something, how are you? They don't know how to answer that without just saying something false. Fine. Right. I'm fine because I don't want to talk about it. How are you today? Well, today is better than yesterday, or today hurts, or whatever. Like all of a sudden now there's a specific thing to answer, something real.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, I love that. Well, I do. And I'm going to take that piece of advice and really think about when I ask someone how they're doing. I'm really going to think about that and use that. I mean, that is great. Really getting specific with your ask. I always say that all the time. Yeah. Get specific with your ask. But that you just put it in a different context for me.
Exactly. Like it's most of the time when you're saying it, you're thinking about yourself.
Yes.
And how do you ask yourself to do something bigger and different?
Yes.
The classic example was my sister. She calls me and I ask her, how are you? And she's like, don't ask me that question. And I was like, why? She's like, well, I'm sitting in a doctor's office and I just found out that I had breast cancer, and he comes in with the paperwork like this, and we both know, and he walks in, he goes, how are you? And she's like, God damn it, like goes off on him. She's like, you just told me, like my language is changing. Like, how dare you? And I was like, wow, putting it in that perspective was like a game changer.
Yeah. Right. How do you think I am? Right.
Awful. This is how I am.
Yeah, exactly. Ashley's holding up the middle finger for all those people who want to know. You can't see her because you're just listening. Oh my gosh. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for sharing all of these wonderful insights today and telling us about the amazing things that you're doing. And for those who haven't caught Ashley live on Instagram yet, you can find her every day except Sunday live on Instagram at Main Line Fashionista. And you can also get her and see her amazing cool hat/scarf combo. You need a name for it.
I know. So I came up with like hask, but I hate that. It's not cool.
Like a hat and a mask? No, we're going to come up with something cooler than that.
Yeah. Can we think on that one for me? Because I don't like that one.
I know. Well, it is a mask hat combo for all those who are wondering. And I'll have links in the show notes where you can purchase your own. Lots of different colors, lots of scarf options. And like Ashley said, she is selling them, creating them, selling them, and using them to feed America. So not only will you have an amazing stylish hat, you will also be doing good, in which we all know it feels so good to do good, especially in these times. So Ashley, thank you so much for being here. I loved seeing you and loved talking to you.
Thank you so much, Chrissy. I love you to death, girlfriend. I miss seeing you in those the drop-off pickup line over at dance, but this is just as special. It really is. Thank you for all that you're doing too.
Absolutely. And hey guys, follow us at Main Line Fashionista and Suburban Warrior on Instagram. We would also love to hear from you. So drop a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time.